New revelations about the FBI search of Mar-a-Lago may soon see the light of day. Several media organizations, including NBC, were in a South Florida court today asking a judge to unseal the affidavit behind last week's search and seizure at Donald Trump's Florida home. Judge Bruce Reinhart told the Justice Department he is inclined to release a redacted or edited version of the affidavit. That document details what prosecutors call probable cause, the evidence that brought the FBI agents to Trump's home in the first place. Prosecutors want to keep the entire thing under wraps, but the judge today ordered them to list their proposed redactions within a week. Well, the former guy and many of his allies have said they support the release of an unredacted version. And this afternoon, Trump supporters who are angered by the FBI search showed up outside the courthouse. NBC's Cal Perry was there.
We have seen Trump supporters circling sort of the courthouse in Jeeps with the flags, American flags, don't tread on me flags, and Donald Trump flags. The DOJ, for their part, talked about this, talked about the atmosphere, talked about the safety when it comes to witnesses and when it comes to what happened after the search, the political atmosphere, as they put it in the court, as for a reason why some of these things should stay sealed. Here's what was said in court, quote, and this is a DOJ official, quote, this is a volatile situation with respect to this particular search address on the political spectrum, especially, quote, with one side in particular.
Trump lawyer Christina Bobb was actually inside the courtroom today. However, she was just a spectator. She made no arguments. She filed no motions. She did not lift a single finger that would advance getting this affidavit unsealed. However, tonight she was talking on television and she was asked about that very thing.
We believed that Judicial Watch and some of the other parties actually had argued it quite well, and we believe it was very interesting and somewhat encouraging that you had parties from both sides of the aisle, of course, liberal media outlets coupled with a conservative watchdog group, really together on the same side. But we really just chose to see how it would play out. We need to wait and see. I can't be certain at this point because we haven't seen the affidavit, and we certainly haven't seen the redactions and how it's going to play out. But, we'll be making that decision as it comes out. We got to see it. We haven't seen it. It has been under seal. So I don't know. We can't say.
Trump, who has been in thousands of lawsuits, who is known to fight and fight back, is going to sit back and see how this thing goes. The judge did release additional documents that were part of the search warrant that was made public last week. These noted that the search was related to, quote, willful retention of national defense information, concealment of government records, and obstruction. The Mar-a-Lago search turned up 11 sets of classified documents, and sources tell NBC News that more than 1 week later, investigators are still sifting through everything. And that is just one of the many legal issues the former guy is dealing with right now. Tonight, there is a guilty plea in another case. The former chief financial officer for the Trump Organization, 75-year-old Allen Weisselberg, stood in a New York courtroom this morning and pleaded guilty to 15 felony counts. Prosecutors say he failed to pay millions in taxes and helped top Trump Organization executives do the same for more than a dozen years. He's now facing 5 months in jail, millions of dollars in penalties, and has to testify at the trial of the Trump Organization this fall if he's asked. Weisselberg has been a key part of the Trump team for nearly half a century. Donald Trump's father, Fred, hired Weisselberg more than 40 years ago. Later today, the Trump Organization issued a statement that said this, in part, Mr. Weisselberg, in an effort to put this matter behind him and get on with his life, decided that the best course of action for himself and his family was to plead guilty. Jury selection in the Trump Organization trial is expected to start at the end of October.